Hi, everyone. Good morning, good
Hello.
afternoon, good evening, and welcome to the Bubbles Beyond Borders campaign of 2023. So this is an initiative by our organization, Leave No Girl Behind International, that was started by Shamima and I. She's my sister. And Leave No Girl Behind International empowers girls. It's a nonprofit, empowers girls through leadership programs. And we're so excited to have so many incredible people, especially our board, our advisory board right here, and just being part of this campaign to support the dreams of girls worldwide. And I know we have some young women here, and we have other young women who want to join and are with us in spirit. And with that, I am going to hand over to Shamima. And before I do, I just want to tell you about the 6 principles of Leave No Girl Behind International. Everything we teach is based on love, strength, courage, freedom, equality, and unity, our 6 principles. I will hand over to Shamima now. So, because we're making a video that's where all the speakers are going to present what they're teaching to girls around the world. It's going to be a little different with how I introduce them. So just bear with me. Leave No Girl Behind International presents Shamima Patel. Shamima is a website designer, consultant, mentor, healing breakthrough coach, and importantly, co-founder of Leave No Girl Behind International. And she'll be sharing about the power of the dream.
Hi, everyone. So we started the Bubbles campaign as, like Asina said, a way to support the dreams of girls and women globally. Because we live in a world where, as women, we seek permission to dream, but responsibility comes as naturally as breathing. So for today, and we look at our to-do list, all the time, but how often have you actually pulled out a dream list, or do you even have a dream list, or have you updated it since you last made it? So today is all about you, your dreams, your vision, what feeds your soul. So let's get into the space of that. Let's connect to our dreams, get back to who we are, because it all starts with our dreams. So I invite you to close your eyes, take a few deep breaths, just breathe in and breathe out. And breathe in and feel your body slowing down, your shoulders relaxing, feet on the floor, grounded to the earth, letting all the distractions fall away. Just be in this moment. Be in your body, focusing on yourself. There's nothing in this moment you need to focus on. It is all about you. Just sink into your mind, sink into your heart. Just breathe. Breathe in, breathe out. Take another deep breath and breathe out. Open your eyes and you have your journal. What brings you the most joy? What is your dream? What is calling to you right now? What is your dream? Where do you want to go? What do you want to do? Who do you want to be doing this with? What makes you feel alive, excited, free? Just write down whatever comes. There are no limits. Just feel the feeling of your dream. Just imagine yourself being there. The sights, the smells, the sounds, what comes to you. Just write it down. Unlock these dreams in. Own them. claim them. And this list is ongoing. So in this moment, whatever comes to you, tomorrow the dream might evolve, it might be something different. So I invite you to put this journal somewhere where you can pull it out every day, where you can look at it as often as you look at your to-do list, where you can update it and alter it and play with your dream as it grows and as you grow. I'll just give you a few more minutes to write down whatever is calling to you right now. Okay, well, so this is an ongoing experience. So keep adding to your dream list and keep it alive. Keep feeding it. And for all the young women in this group, if you want to share a dream with us and get support in making this happen, you're going to get a 30-day scholarship to the Leave No Girl Behind Young Women's Global Leadership Network, where we'll explore this further. And for anyone else who wants to share, if there's something you want to share in the chat or maybe say out loud, we'd love to hear your thoughts on that.
Thank you, Shamima. That was such a beautiful space to drop into. And I'm just reading the chat. Let's see. Sari, thank you for sharing resolving conflicts to create safer spaces for women to create. Wow, that's so beautiful. Okay. And now that we're in this beautiful space of just opening up to possibility and being able to create, we're going to go to our next speaker. So I am just going to Leave No Girl Behind International presents Phil Maycomber. And Phil is an international education specialist, award-winning speaker and best-selling author, president and CEO of Make a Difference Inc. and Practical Assistance Technology Solutions Inc. And Phil is sharing about freedom from should to could. Phil is also on our advisory board, and we're very blessed to have her.
Thank you. I look forward to this event every single year. And I think that the reason I do is that it's all about empowerment. It's all about belief, supporting the 6 principles of Leave No Girl Behind International. I spend a great deal of time teaching teachers, empowering adults that have influence over young people, because I truly believe it's a ripple effect, but it's also a two-way street. We need to make sure that our children are educating adults on a regular basis, that the youth of the world are considered to be leaders and teachers of those who are already beyond their traditional educational years, to remind them that they are lifelong learners. One of the exercises that I love doing in kindergarten through 12th grade traditional school system classroom lessons is this exercise called Get Rid of Should and Empower Could. And I have a visual to share. May I have screen sharing ability, please?
Yeah. Let's give you screen sharing superpowers.
Oh boy, thank you.
Done.
Because I believe that if we have a visual, it helps us visualize, right? And so that visual is empowering today for Bubbles Beyond Borders, our could and turn a should situation into more possibilities that are endless, just like the light coming through us and being able to just dream big. So thank you for letting me share that. So that's what I'd like us to focus on. And I'd like to start with an example because I think that we all are faced with, to quote what Shamima had just said, was our to-do list. And those are shoulds, right? So I think it's perfect that I'm kind of coming after she just did our whole dream list, which I loved, by the way, Shamima. It's such an empowering exercise. And I'm going to adopt that in a way that is appropriate in the classroom for kids. So let's think about our decision making, because my mom and dad always said, your decisions define you. One of my favorite movies is The Wizard of Oz. If you haven't seen it before, it's about a character, Dorothy, who goes into this magical world of color, and on her journey meets important people that end up being very endearing in her life and teach her life lessons. And one of the first ones that she meets is the Scarecrow. And she's very concerned about which way to go. And the gesture that I teach kids about decision-making is what the Scarecrow does in that movie, which is this. Well, you could go this way, or you could go this way. That's a could, right? It's not a should or a have to. And what I like sharing with young girls as it relates to Leave No Girl Behind is that coulds are much more imaginative, and I'm going to tie to Shamima's previous exercise, will help you with your dream list. Okay, it is going to help put it into motion. Now, here's an example. When Hasina and I and Shamima were chatting about carrying you through some examples, one of them is what I could be doing instead of should be doing. And let's focus that a little bit related to self-care. Okay, now I'm going to give an example of today in my life on a Saturday. Oh, I should be resuming writing on my next book. And that gives me great joy. No, hands down, it gives me joy. But that's a should on my to-do list. Like, oh, I should do that. I should think about doing like 3 loads of laundry today. This is real life, right? These are things we're all faced with. Oh, yeah, if I'm a student, I should be getting ready for the launch of the school year. If you're in the United States, the school year is kicking up. Or if you're already in a different type of academic schedule, I should be doing my homework. And although all those things could be very important, I teach embrace one should and balance it with 3 coulds, because it's going to give you joy, okay? Because I could, on this beautiful day in Vermont, in the United States, in the area of New England, where our trees are just starting to turn colors, go out for a wonderful walk around the pond. That's a could that would give me a lot of joy, because that's on my dream list to be able to exercise on a regular basis and not have it be on the bottom of my list, right? that I have to do all these shoulds before I could get to that self-care. Another could I could do today, and I've had this in my mind for a while because I'm Italian and I love to cook. And looking at, I haven't done a major cooking project in about a month. Not that I don't eat in my kitchen, but I mean like a power cook that my Italian grandmother would say, get all your containers out and now this will last you for a long time. That gives me great joy. That's not a should to me, that's a could. So I'd like to invite you to write down one should that you should be doing today and balance it with 3 coulds to take better care of yourself, implementing a part of your dream list. And then maybe think about sharing some of that in the chat, because I was pretty honest with you about some of my coulds. Oh, and also another could for me, because on my dream list is always spending more time with my best friend and husband, Rob, is could we possibly go out for a bite to eat in a no phone zone? You know, that's our rule, no phone zone, and just spend some quality time together. I think we can make that happen today. So I invite the young girls and our adults. One should balance with 3 coulds. And I think that's a great equation.
Oh, that's brilliant, Paul. I love that that ratio, and that's a ratio you could take anywhere.
Right.
Yeah, I love that the could is such possibility, and it just opens up into, well, what could I do? What what is it that I love doing? And it just raises your vibration so much when you get there. Then you're able to do those shoulds, and the shoulds could move into coulds. Right.
Very true. That's an excellent point. Excellent point.
And I see in the chat, Zari says, allow space for my dreams to transform inclusively. Of that. Thank you. And now we're just going to go to our next speaker. And that happens to be my mom, Rashida Patel. And she is a health and wellness coach, a professional nurse, and she is the owner of Health to Wealth. She's also a coach, and she's an artist. So she will be sharing on the expressions of a self-love portrait.
So everyone, every year around this time, blow bubbles into the ether to support the dreams of girls and women around the world. And in order to bring our dreams to fruition, we need to grow, evolve. So, what does that mean? We were not the same yesterday as we are today. We change and we evolve all of the time. Because life causes us to change. We do different things every day. And we sometimes stay the same because we experience things the same way, or we experience things differently as time goes by. Now, when there's a specific person whom I hear talking with Hasina or Shamima over the phone. I hear this voice and I recognize it. And I know who it is. But supposing I didn't recognize the voice, how would I know it's that specific person? Anyone? Okay, I'm going to tell you. It's the word that she uses. It's what she says. That person is Donna. I know her by the words she speaks. That's who she is. And I occasionally go to Facebook and I read this post by someone. I don't see the name, but I read the words. And I think, this can only be full. So I scroll up again, and true enough, it is full. How did I know? It's her words. And then there are words that a certain person speaks, and he can only say them the way that he says them. No one else can quite put anything like he does. And that is Dr. Tom Eklund. Now, why are these words so important? It's because who these people are. They are the words they speak. Because it projects their values. Now, my point is this. This is my facade. You heard my bio. It's what I do. This is not who I am. You recognize me. You know I'm Rashida Patel. You know what I do. But is that who I am? So who am I? I am my values, my beliefs, my aspirations, and who I am at my core as a human being. So what I've done is I've done a thought bubble. You can call it a speech bubble if you want. And I've got words in there. So I'm going to read the words for you. Who I am or aspire to be: loving, kind, grateful, tenacious, worthy, compassionate, supportive, courageous, authentic, creative. So I invite you to do your own words in a bubble, speech bubble or thought bubble, and then use the words to do a self-portrait, whichever way you want to do it. You can do it as a stick person, or you can draw whatever you want. I don't know how much time I have, but you can try, and if you don't manage to finish it, you can do it at a later stage. And then I've done my self-portrait like that. Can you see it? So here where I've done the hair, I've got some words on the forehead, around the neck, shoulders, and chest. And I've put in the words that I did for myself. So this exercise is to help you become who you want to be, who you can be, who you are.
Oh, thank you, Mom. I think what we can all do is just give it a minute, because we've got about a minute or two to just be doing that. And if anyone wants to share the words that they have with their self-portrait, feel free to just either raise your hand or put it in the chat. Oh, let me, Donna, can you read that? I can see it, but
Sure. In the thought bubble, I have happy, strong, fun, and spontaneous. And by my head, I have smart. By my heart, I have loving. By my hands, I have creative. And by my feet, I have adventurous and courageous.
awesome. Love it. I think we have time for one more share if anyone feels like sharing.
I can share.
Oh, yes, please. Yes.
I have in my bubble, I didn't have time to do the portrait, but I did a thought bubble with words. I put positive, helpful, empowering, supportive, and I had some similar words with Donna, strong, courageous, encouraging, and intelligent.
Thank you for
My bubble was too small. I needed to draw a bigger bubble. I ran out of space. That's I love, I put in the chat the whole draw yourself and then put the words on the body. That I thought the words were going to stay in the bubble. And that's brilliant. I just wanted to share that, Rashida. That's brilliant. I'm doing this academic year with students.
I think we should have a quote of the day, though. My bubble's too small. I need to increase the size of my bubble. Let me look at the chat. There are a few words there. Joda. Oh, that's beautiful. Artistic, creative, sassy, loving, kind, supportive, smart. I love it. Thank you so much, Joda. If you're saying something, you're muted, so you can unmute if you want to say something quickly. Oh, okay. Zari, creative, contemplative, helpful, friendly, international, courageous, open, happy. Anjali, self-control, patience, filled with divine love. I love that one. It's beautiful. Thank you, everyone. And now our next presenter, and let me just do the spotlight before. Awesome. Leave No Girl Behind International presents Dr. Tom Aplin, regenerative neurologist, functional medicine physician, youth mentor, and also, like our previous speakers, on our advisory board. Oh.
I get to follow the fun, beautiful, creative session. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And I won't go through this because I want to, but my favorite was the last thing I wrote was gutsy.
Ah.
So thank you. So I have a combo grinny bubble to play with. And all the speakers have inspired so deeply. Thank you. This is first, nice deep breath. I would like to challenge everybody to give the gift of eye contact today to the people in your life, and the gift of I wonder what's in there, right? The three sacred ways of taking care of ourselves that I wanted to touch on briefly are a bunch of S's. Sacred self, sacred sleep. And you can hear the kids at the pool at the back in the background, sacred surf, as I come to you from the Outer Banks of South Carolina here in the US. I think I'll go backwards. Sacred surf is the being with the natural expressions. And when I'm suggesting eye contact, it's not just with the bipeds. We're used to looking at people's faces, but Mother Nature is always looking at us, and we very rarely can understand the various ways that those life forms express themselves, whether it be an animal or a plant or a cloud formation. And there's something beautifully awesome, literally awesome, in the being with. And it starts here. I was thinking about symphony this morning. I actually woke up dreaming about symphonies and tuning our violin, tuning our instrument, and each of us together, even though this thing that looks like Tom's mouth is the thing doing the talking, because we just did what we did and warmed up our instruments, this sentence will finish in a different way. Yeah. And each of us is responsible for the way that we're speaking. In the symphonic expression, the roller coaster is a great example of that. The best roller coasters are the ones where we're all laughing and giggling and screaming and lots of different places, right? Lots of different ways to say hello and oh my God. And there's the awe, the oh my Godness. So I wanted to talk about mistakes as well, and stricture and structure. And I told you there'd be a lot of S. So mistake, if everybody could sort of mentally restructure that as my stake in life, my understanding, my need, my ego, my stake. In the world of metabolic flexibility, I help put people in a place where their bodies work and come back to center from that roller coaster. Part of the body is the brain. We also like to come back from the roller coaster of our lives, right? And what a brilliant roller coaster these past couple of years have been, right? And coming back to center, back to a place of being ready for the next turn, you know? Don't have to hold on so tight anymore. I'm comfortable. And but my stake is it's a I need it to be this way. I need it to be this way, right? And we all have our different ways of expressing that. I can look over the course of my life and I can see a rebellion early, you know, in my teens and 20s, even though I was on the surface very yes, sir. I was raised in a military family. I know structure and I know success within existing institutions, right? Being an Eagle Scout and a good student, et cetera, et cetera. And you find different ways to go. So part of self-expression is that. And I think, actually, I just gave myself an idea. I'm going to, part 2 of my grinny bubble will be the angry scowl. And scowls in my life, everybody's heard of the famous mugshot scowl going around here from our former president. And it's important that we not just celebrate the great stuff and the fun stuff, but it's important that we celebrate the stuff that we don't think is so socially acceptable, right? What is Mother Nature except a place where we dissipate the ideologies of unacceptable. There's no such thing as unacceptable in nature. The critters do what they do, the trees do what they do. Cause and effect is the name of the game. And there's no such thing as acceptable. This brain is the thing that has decided to pay attention to somebody outside of me, such to learn a lesson and incorporate that. And that's my stake. That's my stake in James Thomas Acklin, Esquire. So if I can claim that, that's part 2 of this, is love the mistakes. Love the mistakes. And it starts with mirror. It starts with sacred self. And just like each of us is co-creating, we get to remember that the next version of us is also co-creating with the current version. So as this picture morphs over time, it'll fade, the pages will burn, turn, I'll put different things on it. And that would be my other challenge for people, is to spend 30 seconds in the mirror and just say hello and notice your expressions. And give yourself permission to make the silliest and what you think is the ugliest, right? We get to claim the ugly. And thereby, I think there's a spark of compassion. That's really where the compassionate interplay begins. And there is the sacred sleep. And I'll do this quickly because there's 60 seconds. In the construct, we consciously concoct a meal. We consciously concoct a book. We put attention into doing the things that we think are the doings of the day. And we tend to forget about sleep. So the last SS is sacred sleep. And just as much care as you would put into putting yourself together for the day, bathing and brushing your teeth and glimpsing the mirror version of you to see if you're appropriate, right? Let's approach sleep that way as well. It's a very wonderful gift and a part of life that we tend to neglect. It's where a lot of the neural processing happens. It's certainly where a lot of the removing of the trash happens. Metabolically, we get a chance to catch up and come back to center. And that's the place in where we've done that and prepared nicely and actually gotten into several cycles of deep dreaming, delta and our REM stages. Then we wake up with ideas like the symphony, right? And then we wake up with little dreams of how to tune our violins that day. And so I'm grateful to have been here, grateful for this community. And I would suggest that we are all, what I wrote down this morning, I don't know where this came from, but we are all almighty ambassadors of the astounding. And thank you for being an almighty ambassador. Thank you.
Oh, thank you so much, Tom. Almighty ambassadors of the astounding. I like that. And let's just take 30 seconds and look in the Zoom mirror and just see how we feel, check in with our bodies, check in with ourselves. And like Tom said, just give each other eye contact. And I'm just sending love and light and looking at each one of you, Shamima, Zari, Donna, Jen, Phil, Mom, Tom, Jen, Renee, Carmilla, Becky, Shoda, Anjali, Danielle. Even though your video is not on, I'm still feeling the energy. Wonderful. Our next speaker, and again, let me just spotlight her. Wonderful. Is Donna Palomar. Donna's an educator, author, international speaker, columnist, and coach. And she also is on our Leave No Girl Behind International Advisory Board. So Leave No Girl Behind International presents Donna Palomar speaking about the strength of memories and permission.
Hi, everybody. I'm coming to you all the way from New Jersey. It's great to be on an international call. I'd like to share a fun activity with you about making memories, remembering memories. And this is an activity that gives you strength along the way as you do it. And it'll become more evident as I show you different examples. I have a lot of varieties to share, so you could see if anything resonates with you and pick something that you would enjoy. I first saw this activity some years ago. It was called a gratitude jar. And the idea is to write down either every day or when you can remember something that you're grateful for, some event that happened, or just a special memory, what brought you joy. And the idea is to fill up the jar, and after a certain amount of time, open the jar and relive and remember everything that you wrote down. So this one sample is literally a glass jar. I chose to leave the sticker on because I thought it was fun. And in this particular jar, there's a certain size paper, and I decided to use different colors. So as we go along, I'll read some samples of some things that you can jot down as well. This one says, I am so very grateful that I have a group of friends to talk to when I need to share information to help myself make a decision. And that gives me strength. So that's one example. Another one would be, this is actually a used canister, and this one's easy to add things to because the top just pops up. And for this, I chose different colors. I kept them very small so that I can accumulate them in the jar. And this particular one says, I am grateful for ants and for what they teach me. And this might sound silly, but I was on the I was on a challenge to do this for about 30 days. And you had to write down 5 different things each day, no repeats. So that's over 150 gratitude entries. And I remember I was in such a hurry, and I went outside and I had to bypass this hill of ants. And I literally stopped and had such appreciation for what they do and what they've taught me. Slow down, teamwork, get the job done. And I was just in awe, and it actually brought me to tears. I got to stop and really, really focus and be grateful for that. Another idea is just the typical vitamin bottle. I would keep this out to remind me to do my sharing. And for this, I chose different colored strips. So you could see the different varieties, different ideas. And for this one, it just says, a walk in the park with a friend. So that's something you could be grateful for. And then add, and it could be, if you don't have a lot of space to do the activity, you could use something small like that. Another thing that you can use if you don't have a lot of space is a little organza bag. So I picked a pretty purple bag, and I decided for this one I would pick pretty purple paper. Say that fast 3 times. And this actually has today's date on it, 8/26/23. I am excited to share this activity with a group of people internationally. And since this is small, you don't have to fold it, and more will fit and it'll accumulate. And sometimes you might actually be able to close the bag. Another small space would be, I received a gift in this nice little bag. I love polka dots. So I decided my papers for this one would be polka dots. And since this is limited in space, the samples that I have for this are just one word. I wrote sunshine. I have laughter, which is my favorite sound in all the world. And when we talked about self-care, I'm actually happy and grateful for me. Always include yourself in there somewhere. And this is very easy to slip into a drawer, a notebook, somewhere easy to find it. Sometimes you'll have something that doesn't have a lid or can't close. You can use a gift bag. Something that's bright and cheery, makes you happy. And again, these don't have to be folded. They could be a bigger size where you could elaborate more. And this one says, I am grateful to be a teacher who has fun and allows adventure and exploration in her classroom every day. So obviously, you can draw from different areas of your life to include it in there. This was the very first memory jar, so to speak, that I did. It's actually a coffee can. It was easy and it was fun. And this one, the challenge for this one was to do it for an entire year. I had a friend, Indra, who was with me in New Jersey. We were both nannying together, so our paths would cross. And we were accountability buddies. And every day we would add something to our jar. And we would call or text, did you do yours today? Did you do yours today? Oh, I didn't think I was going to cry. During that year, she actually moved away. So at the beginning of the year, we did this together in person. And at the end of the year, we were on Zoom and we would pick various things to share. And we laughed and we cried and we relived them together. And some examples that I have for this year, January 7th, I enjoyed building a snowman with the students. And July 4th this year, I went to see a historic movie with friends. And this one's easy too. And if you want to make it easier, you can actually put a slit in there and just keep feeding it and challenge yourself not to open it till the end of the year. A different variety of that is there's actually a tin. I love tins. And this one was actually for a 30-day challenge, like I spoke about. You can challenge yourself to write one thing every day, 3 things every day, 5 things every day, and you'll be surprised at all the beautiful things that you can collect. This one says, I am grateful to do this challenge for 30 days. And I can tell you, to do more than one thing a day is not easy, especially when you don't repeat what you're grateful for. But by the end, it's so worth it because there's so many beautiful things in your life that you can go back and remember. And honestly, it doesn't all have to be rainbows and hearts and kisses. I can remember times where I've written, I'm so happy I spent time with a friend for an hour. Something was really bothering me and I spent most of the time crying. But that friend was there to hold space with me, to show me that they cared and let me get through that difficult time. You can use tissue boxes. They're very handy. If you have a small box that's decorative, this is actually from tea. So it's a nice little keepsake, and you can keep adding to it. And this one says, I am grateful for all my new clothes. I actually just took a very professional job that's starting in about a week. And to my surprise and disappointment, most of my clothes do not fit me. So I had to go shopping for new ones. And again, you can easily just slip them in and save them for a rainy day. And that's the other thing too. You don't have to wait till the month is over or the year is over. If you really need some encouragement and want to remember some beautiful things, you can pop that open anytime. And then there's different size containers. You can cover them. This one I have matching paper inside. And this one says, I am grateful to have an accountability partner for this activity. And this is nice too, because since we're international, you could pick someone here on the Zoom and share that with them. All right, we're coming around the home stretch here. This one was actually coffee container. Very sturdy. This one says it was from April 17th. I am grateful for a few hours to read a book. It was so nice to find a few hours in my busy schedule to just relax and enjoy a really good book. And obviously other containers, different sizes. And last but not least, you could use a really beautiful envelope to keep adding to. And this one says, this was also in April. Even though it seemingly took a long time and tons of extra effort, I am now the happy recipient of a TESOL certificate that allows me to teach English as a second language globally. Those 120 hours are behind me. I am grateful. So you see, you can use entire paragraphs, you can use one word, anything that you would actually enjoy doing. So I invite you to find what container you'd like to use, what size the shape paper you'd like to use. And I invite you to try this for at least 30 days and see how it can enhance your life. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Donna. It was awesome. I love how we everyone who doesn't know you got to know you just through the little notes. Isn't that so amazing? Everything has a story, so thank you for that. Carmilla, I see your hand is up. Wait, I will ask you to oh.
It took me a second to figure out how to unmute myself. I just wanted to share this with everybody. When our lives were falling apart in South Africa and we didn't know what was happening, my family and I drew a huge piece of board. I don't know if you can see, we drew a gratitude tree and we cut out the shapes of little leaves. And the mission was that every day we would pick a leaf and we would each write down something that we were grateful for. So sometimes it was something as simple as my grandson wrote the sun on the 7th of August, 2020. I wrote family. And then a longer one that I wrote was, I'm grateful for the pieces of paper that prove my educational record. quality time with Gigi, cuddling and doing word searches. I'm grateful that I have a dishwasher, all sorts of, lots of different things, but it was a family activity, as was drawing the tree on that huge piece of paper and everybody sitting down together to shade in the various elements of it and just making the most of spending time together when we were in that space of uncertainty.
Oh, that is so beautiful, Kamala. Really beautiful. Thank you. And our next speaker is, let me spotlight her. Thank you, Shamima. Leave No Girl Behind International presents Becky Wilson. And Becky is the Director of Governmental Relations for the New Hampshire School Boards Association, and she's an educator. And I'm giving her a shout out because there are so many things happening in Becky's life in a stretch of 3 or 4 days, and she's here, and we appreciate you.
Oh, I appreciate being here. So thanks for having me. For anyone who doesn't know me from the board, yes, we have 4 children, and they are all leaving for college or to go abroad in the next, like from yesterday until Tuesday. So it's been a little chaotic, but also those of you who do know me know that it's almost always chaotic. So it's just about kind of trying to stay grounded in the moment. I'm super excited to be here. So thanks for including me. And I actually stole this idea from my youngest daughter who just turned 18. So one of the things that we had talked about was this unifying love that we have for each other and for our friends and for people that are important in our lives, and trying to think about conveying our presence to people and our love when we're not physically maybe next to each other. So this idea came from my daughter, who is going off to college. She left yesterday. And this past week has been filled with just a lot of temporary goodbyes, and it's been very sad for her. And her love language is gift giving. That is like how she shows love to people that she cares about. She's very personal in it. And so she started to make boxes like this one. I have an example here for each of her friends that she's super close to. And inside of the box are these envelopes that say open when. So these are all going to be backwards probably now that I'm showing them to you. I'm not sure, but this one says open when you can't sleep. This one says open when you're wondering if this is actually worth it. Open when you're scared to try something new, but you want to. And she made these boxes for probably 3 of her closest friends that she's really going to miss, because they really do rely on each other for love and encouragement in those moments. So one of the things that I thought would be helpful is to think about friends or people that are close to you that you may have who maybe physically you're not close to right now, but that doesn't change the heartfelt connection and the heart connection that I think everybody has. And think about a few things that maybe you would put on your envelopes to those people. Maybe 1 or 2 people that you could think of, and just jot down a couple of open when statements that you would put aside for those people. It doesn't have to be the whole letter. I mean, the letters that are inside of these, some of them are very short, some of them are 2 sentences, some are funny quotes, some of them are really long, depending on what the situation is, like open when you're sad, open when you have a great day, open when you're lonely. And she and I had spent a lot of time kind of trying to anticipate situations that come up that we know are going to come up: being homesick, getting in a fight with your roommate, getting in a fight with someone you love. That people that are in relationships have arguments sometimes, and what can you say when you're not in the moment, so that later on, and then think about a few things that you could say to that person in those envelopes, and you can add to them over time. I think it's a beautiful sort of, Donna's project sort of led right into that, in terms of, we're not always with people physically that you wish that you could be. And those, park bench conversations don't happen the way that they could in the past, but how can you anticipate that and show your love for those people in a different way? But I think separately, so what came out of this was starting to write letters to yourself. So it's very easy, I think sometimes, especially as women, you tend to be more geared towards helping people. It seems easy sometimes to show up for other people and to love them and give them this amazing advice and this calm sort of, way of talking things through. But when it comes to yourself, especially as a younger woman, sometimes that's very hard to do. You're not always sure of what to say to yourself. And you also have these other messages that are sort of competing. So it seems really easy to write a friend a letter when they're having a bad day. But when you're having a bad day, sometimes the things that you say to yourself are not the same things you would have put in that letter. And I often think back to Alice in Wonderland, for anybody who used to have that when you were younger. She has this phrase, I give myself very good advice, but I never seldom follow it. So it's sort of that kind of mindset of, what letters could you write to yourself? And I have sort of a life motto that I think is on my board of directors bio, which is to be the person that you needed when you were younger. I often needed somebody that I don't think was around. So I try to be that person for other people, but I also think it's really important to be that person for yourself. So how can you love yourself and think about some moments that you think you might encounter in the future? And could you write a box of open when letters to yourself before those things happen, where maybe you might be in a different mind space where you could actually take your own advice? And I'll just read a little example from this exercise. And I don't know if people want to take a few minutes at some point today to write somebody that you love an open when letter. And then also maybe at the same time, can you use that situation and write a letter to yourself? But this one says, "Dear me, today I want you to think about all that you are instead of all that you are not. I know you think you're not perfect." This is very true. "You say stupid things. You laugh when you're not supposed to. You need time to figure out everything. You have your own bad day, but you don't let that affect anybody else's day. But you believe that a better day always comes. You literally see light in everything. Everything in this universe seems to inspire you. You don't care if you are alone. You are so rooted in your being that sometimes someone's absence or presence doesn't really matter anymore. You celebrate your own self. You celebrate every tiny victory of yours. Maybe you think that you are self-obsessed, but you don't know how differently you glow when you talk to yourself like you would talk to someone you love. Of course, you hate Mondays, but you live each day like you love each day. You don't wait for Friday. You know that life is happening right now. You're always there for other people. You don't care if they have done you wrong in the past. You are a living, breathing example for someone to believe that there are better things coming in life. Now you decide. If this is not perfect, then I don't know what is." So you can write some letters to yourself, put them in a box when you're having a bad day, sort of like what Donna was saying, pull them out. If you're having a great day, pull them out. You can call it whatever you want to call it, but you also are able to show some love to each other. So that's my contribution. And there's lots of people on this call that I would love to write open when letters for. So.
Thank you so much, Becky. And my letter to you in this moment, you are special and you are so here, and you're always so reliable. Thank you.
Well, thank you.
And I can see in the chat, Yeah, Phil, how you said, I'm going to do this for my husband's birthday. Isn't that a really special thing? So maybe take a leaf out of Becky's book, and maybe all of us do that if we feel called to for someone today. It's such a wonderful thing to do. Yeah. Okay. Well, Shamima.
Leave No Girl Behind presents Asina Patel, author of Truthwalker's Journey, creator of Healing Breakthrough University, Akashic Records reader, and Deep Time leader. She will be sharing all about how unity has an eye.
It's so wonderful to be in this space of community and unity with everyone. And the one thing that we can do is just in this moment. Actually, I'm going to do it as an exercise. I'm going to quickly go to gallery before I continue, and I'm going to ask everyone to just be in this moment and have a word, anything that describes the experience of being together and what we've just experienced. Anything. There's no right or wrong. There's nothing at all. And if you could just share it, and this is the way energy makes a difference. Let's just put it into the collective energy here and just share any one word that you'd like to, that really describes this. Okay, so I'm just going to go with okay, I'll read in the chat. This is wonderful. Donna, togetherness. Becky, connection. Full, hopeful. Carmela, love. Hey. And anyone who wants a self-reflection, Anjali, belief, Renee, Zari, forgiving rejuvenates, okay, Joda, friendships, Jen, belt, buddy, okay, super cognitionists, oh my word, love it. All right. And if you haven't shared and you still want to share, you can unmute. And if you don't want to share, then that's fine. Just whatever you're experiencing right now, just put this into the ether. And if you feel called, I'd like everyone to just extend their hands and send out that energy of whatever word you've chosen. And just take a breath in this energy. Thank you. And that's the energy of being with. You can actually feel it. It's tangible. So my point here is that we get to create the energy that we bring to a situation. We have an I in unity, meaning we get to contribute to it. We get to contribute right now. And it isn't just word contribution. It's energy contribution. It's every feeling that we put into the ether. And we could all, well, I can't speak for everyone here, but I could certainly feel that energy back. I could feel that love energy and the, everything that was put out. I could feel it. So let's take that one step further. How do we consciously create the contribution that I makes to unity, the contribution that I make to the unity? we're going to take a few scenarios quickly. And the one is that you walk into a meeting or an event, or you're speaking at an event, you're in a circle, you're at a school meeting, or whatever it is, wherever you're walking into, where you're walking into the unknown, into a situation where you just don't know what the energy is. Maybe you don't know anyone, and maybe you're feeling a little intimidated because you really don't feel like being there. Maybe you're walking into a home where someone just crossed over to the other side and you just feel like, I would be anywhere except here, because, so how do you contribute to the energy that you'd like to see? And the first thing is, be aware of your energy. Just be aware of that power you have to create energy. The thoughts that you think and the feelings that you have. So the first step would be check in with yourself. How are you feeling? And then check in with your body. What is your body feeling? The most common places for us to feel some kind of tightness or stress is probably our throat chakra area, or the chest, or the tummy, your core, your sacral chakra and solar plexus. Like, you can usually feel it. Most people who are stressed will tell you that, oh, I don't feel like eating, or my tummy is sore, or I keep clearing my throat, or I can't breathe properly. So those are the areas where we feel stressed in the body. So the first thing is we just check in with ourselves and say, well, how am I feeling right here and now? And then when we know, we decide to make a contribution to self and to the energy around us by just thinking a better thought. Donna spoke a bit about gratitude. I could go into what everyone spoke about, and where Tom talked about each of us is responsible for the way we're speaking. Each of us is responsible for sacred self-care, sacred self. So the thoughts that we think, we can go into the gratitude and say, what am I feeling gratitude? What am I feeling that makes me grateful? Even if you are in the home of someone where someone has crossed over to the other side, maybe you're grateful that they're now in love and light. Maybe there's always something that, not just intellectual gratitude, but that you feel grateful for. So that's where we go to. So that is your energy contribution, the I contributing to the we, contributing to that unity energy. And then we go to, how can I uncreate circumstances? We have that power. You do uncreate circumstances. Either change the circumstances, walk out of that meeting, walk out of wherever, and then shift yourself, or take yourself to a better space, or maybe you don't want to come back in. That is, again, a choice, and sometimes that's the choice that's best for you. But how about we also look at changing perspective in the moment? Someone is angry, or maybe is voicing something unkind. How could we look at that? How can we shift the perspective? We can maybe say that they're feeling hurt, they're feeling insecure. So we can shift that perspective. It makes us look at that situation in a different light. And it's got nothing to do with ourselves. That is the energy, my relationship with me. How am I feeling? It's my choice to contribute energy. And then the last part of this is that once we have built that relationship with ourselves, we get to give it to the world. We know ourselves, like my mom was speaking about, how do we see ourselves, the adjectives we use to describe ourselves. And, the how we can turn this into possibility of what we can do. That's the other part. Phil spoke about that, the coulds. So when we get that right, and that's to do with us, then we can get to what do I contribute? Becky was speaking about that. Open when, what do I contribute to my friend? What do I contribute to everywhere? I can shift the whole energy of the meeting. I can shift the whole energy of this room. I can stand up and say, let's do an exercise. What good thing could I say about you? What one word, what one kind word could I say about you? So these are all ways in which we can shift ourselves, and from that space, just shift the energy in the whole room. And that is how we put the I. What do I give? How do I shift myself and the energy? That's how we put the I into the unity of the we. And at this time, I'd like to call Shamima, because we're going to be talking about a new program, talking about the Young Women's Global Leadership Network. So I am just going to bring Shamima in. There we go. The Young Women's Global Leadership Network is a new program that we have coming from Leave No Girl Behind International. This is a program where nothing like this that I know of has been done. It's beyond the boundaries of any one place. It's where we can be connected with the whole world, where young women from 12 to 18, and then college ages 18, 19 to 24, those two age groups can get together and they can network with each other, get leadership training in a way that they don't learn in the educational institutions, and just connect beyond the borders of our world. Just like Bubbles Beyond Borders, there are no borders. We get to be connected. Shamima, anything you can just add the details on that?
And it's a space for girls to just show up as they are, who they are. There's no preparation involved. There's no homework involved. It's just a really wonderful community space to hang out and to be yourself in a space that's supportive. It's free of any expectations. It's just a space to explore who you are, who you'd like to be, and what you want in life.
Yeah. And every young woman who's here today will receive, if they choose to take advantage of it, they will receive a 30-day free membership, a scholarship opportunity for the Young Women's Global Leadership Network. And we will be in touch with that. You have signed up to Bubbles Beyond Borders, so we will have your names. The other thing that you can do is just, if you're a young woman or you have a young woman in your life between 12 to 24, just put your name in the chat or your email in the chat, and we will definitely be in touch. So that's that. And Danielle, you have your hand raised. Quick question.
No, it's not a question. Hello, everybody. While you guys are talking about the program that yourself and Shamima are going to launch with regards to the Leave No Girl Behind, I just wanted to say that it is an amazing program. I've gone through it myself. It really helped me in a lot of ways. I think the biggest way it helped me with was to form connections of like-minded people. That was very important to me with regards to people who saw me in my raw form, but still saw the full potential I had to offer the world. So just having somebody to believe in you and see what you are capable of is such a special thing, especially if it's genuine and it's not just put across to spare your feelings. So if I can give you know, let's go for it type of a feeling to everybody who's really thinking of doing it. By all means, I would join if I was you, because it's really a life-changing experience, and the people and the connections are long-lasting, long lasting. If I take, for example, I've known Hasina and Shamima since grade 8. Is it grade 8?
Yep.
Grade 8. I am now second year university, so that's over a couple of years. I know Donna, I know Dr. Tom, I know Phil, you know, all of these people have spoken to me personally and given, I know Kamala, I know Zari, I know a lot of people, okay? I know a lot of people, but I really would definitely recommend it. It's absolutely life-changing, and it's a way to also step out of your comfort zone, and I don't think you'll regret that. Okay, that's all. That's all I wanted to share.
Thank you. That so warms my heart. That was beautiful, Danny. And Shamima and I are so proud of you and who you've become. We've just been privileged to see your growth. So thank you. Shamima, do you want to do we have a lucky draw here, which is a dream strategy session. We've been talking about dreams and how this Bubbles Beyond Borders is about supporting the dreams of girls, but it's for we're thinking of everyone's dreams, because at some point we all need that reminder about dreams. So Shamima is going to spin the wheel. Shamima, okay, you take it from here, and someone's going to get a free dream strategy session that we will we will do. Mom, this is yours. Well, you can give it to someone. But
whoever would like to have it, put up your hand and it's yours. I'm gifting it. Okay, Zari wants it.
Awesome. Shamima, do you want to do one more spin? I think we can do one more spin. Go ahead. Oh my, Joda. Well done.
Thank you.
You must have manifested something today. Okay. Well, you contact us and we'll arrange a time. And sorry, you as well. We'll be in touch.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Jen Belt, you have your hand raised.
Thank you so much. I just love being here. Y'all are so beautiful. And Tom, how brave you are to be balancing out all of this feminine energy. You are worthy. I have been really seriously contemplating credentialing, and I'm going to read you really quick the definition of credential because I think it fits beautifully. That which gives credit, that which gives a title or claim to confidence, the warrant on which belief, credit, or authority is claimed among strangers. And there's many people in here that I have never laid eyes on before, and I do not consider you strangers anymore. I think that we are all one body, and we all have parts and pieces that come together and fit together beautifully in that I unity. And I just love all of you speaking girl and youth over me, because I don't know if you can see, but I have some coarse gray hairs, which I consider my crown of glory. And even though I may not qualify in the rotation around the sun as being no girl left behind. I absolutely am claiming the credentialing of being a girl and youthful. So I really appreciate that. I'm claiming that and I'm receiving that. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much. I am very blessed to have been here.
Oh, thank you, Jen. Really, that's beautiful. Renee, I see you have your hand up. Let me unmute you. Oh,
I just did. Thank you. So yeah, I'm like just thrilled to be here also. But I wanted to say that this is what I do sometimes is I take a word and then I put words to it. So I took the word bubbles and then I put words to that. So what I did, like for each letter, each initial. So I took the BUBBLES. And so what I wrote was be united because belief lives eternally somewhere. And then after somewhere, I put everywhere inside of me. So like all those initials, that's what they stood for. And so it was just kind of fun to do. I was thinking about it the other day, and then today, as everybody was talking, I just kind of completed that. And I just thought, so I just wanted to share my little thing that I have a tendency to do, which is a little bit goofy and crazy, but it makes me remember things and like things and understand things more, even in my own world.
that's awesome. I love that. I'm going to look at doing that. I love words and letters too, so thank you. And I'm just opening this to our community in unity. If there's anything you feel like saying, we're definitely going to honor everyone's time because I know we're ending just now, but if there's anything anyone feels like sharing, feel free to do that. Oh, yes. Thank you. My goodness, we nearly forgot the most important part. At least I did. Thank you, Kamala. You see, it's amazing to have friends. We are going to really just celebrate this, supporting the dreams of girls and supporting everyone's dreams here and just blowing bubbles because bubbles have no borders. So everyone get their bubbles out. Mind your computers if you're using a computer. I love this picture. I want to take a screenshot. Thank you, everyone.
Donna's are the best.
Well, I can't say I'm a good bubble blower, but just want to say thank you so much, everyone. We so appreciate you being here. Shamima, is there something that you'd like to say? Because I feel like I'm talking a lot.
And just thank you to everyone. I love what everyone shared today. And I think, like with what I was saying to Becky, I think there's a virtual way of doing these things, and pretty much everyone's presentation today. It's a wonderful virtual way of doing it as much as physical, and it's really exciting. So yeah.
And I challenge you, whoever's in your vicinity, whether you have other people in your home or you have friends or whatever, just take your bubbles and share that moment of blowing bubbles, because we get to do that. And as adults especially, Joda, for you it might be different, and Anjali, for your daughter it might be different, but as adults we forget how amazing it is just to blow bubbles. So I challenge everyone to go blow some bubbles with someone. And just want to say thank you so much, each one of you, Zari, Dana, Thor, Mom, Jen, Renee, Tom, Jen, Danielle, Joda, Becky, Kamala, Anshadi, and everyone in spirit. Thor.
So I was all excited to surprise you when this week I ordered a little bubble gun thing that does tons of bubbles. And I was so excited, and it was delayed, but it arrived last night, and I couldn't figure out how to put the whole thing together. And I was really stressing out this morning because I really, really wanted to do it. So my intention I am putting out is that I have a year to figure this out until next August, right? So I'm so excited about it. It's like this little bubble machine. And so next year, give me the good vibes to figure it out. You know what I might do is bring it into a kid that is techie and have them do it for me.
Yeah,
right?
Teenagers know everything.
Ew,
Yes.
absolutely. I looked at it, and you should have seen the look on my face. Talk about like no self-love at all, Rashida. It was like I looked at it and I saw all the parts and I went, oh, and I started shaking my head. I had no confidence. But hopefully next year I'm going to have that little bubble machine. So I had to make do with these. They were from my wedding, so they weren't working all that great because they're that old. But I was like, I have to have bubbles somewhere. Anyway.
Thank you. And thank you, everyone, for taking the time to be here and to contribute. We appreciate you and your energy and word contributions, and sending you love and light.